hockey fans, welcome to Rensselaer and Houston Fieldhouse, where tonight we have a game between the St. Thomas University Tommies and your homestanding Engineers of Rensselaer. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, the visitors from St. Thomas. In the goal, number 33, Tyson Teichman. At left defense, number 14, Marc-Andre Levesque. At right defense, number 52, Eric Diodati. Starting forward line for the Tommies at left wing, number 91, Rankin Campbell. At center, number 17, Jason Cameron. And at right wing is number 9, J.C. Kempen. Head coach is Kyle McAllister, his assistants Kevin Pottle and Andrew Connor. RPI starting lineup brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts' new dark roast blend. A bold start and a smooth finish, just like your Engineers. Leading the Engineers on the ice tonight, your junior engineer. Please welcome Kylie Pucci. Starting in the goal, a senior from Winnipeg, Manitoba, number 33, Jason Castor. At left defense, a senior from Williamsville, New York, number 24, Chris Bradley. At right defense, he's a sophomore from Sudbury, Ontario, number 22, Bradley Bell. He's starting forwards for the Engineers. At left wing, a sophomore from Paramus, New Jersey, number 25, Drew Melanson. At center, a sophomore from Stockholm, Sweden, number 12, Victor Lildegren. And at right wing, a freshman from Hampstead, Sweden, number 28, Jesper Alvo. Please welcome the rest of the Engineers, their head coach, Seth Appert. Assistant coaches are Brian Vines and Nolan Graham. Fans, we direct your attention to center ice. Tonight we welcome a very special alumnus back to Rensselaer. A big round of applause for a member of the Rensselaer class of '97, world famous NASA astronaut. Please welcome Commander G. Reed Wiseman. U.S. Navy commander spent from May to November 2014 orbiting the globe at a height of 250 miles, a speed of 18,000 miles per hour as a flight engineer on the International Space Station, Expedition 41. 97 graduate with a degree in electrical, computer, and systems engineering. Could not be more delighted to welcome him back from space, back to his alma mater. Thank you for joining us this weekend, Reed, for helping us kick off the new season. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as the RPI Pep Band will play the Canadian National Anthem.
period of action between RPI and St. Thomas. We'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which in its 125th year provided funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as long as WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports is seeking current RPI students to make live calls to RPI athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for men's and women's hockey. For more information or to express interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu.
Just about set for puck drop here at the Houston Fieldhouse. 2015-16 season about to get underway. I guess unofficially, the Engineers open their regular season schedule next Friday against number 14 UMass Lowell on the road. Then they're home to the number 1 team in the country, the Eagles from Boston College, here at the Houston Fieldhouse on Sunday, October 11th. That's a 2 p.m. puck drop here. Should be an exciting opening weekend. We get a look at some of the newcomers. As we're ready to drop the puck here. And we're underway. It's going to be St. Thomas coming away with it. Like a forest green uniforms with looks like another form of green trim. Tom can help me out with that as it's dumped in deep. Jason Kausdorf wants to cover, and he will. Some skaters flying in at him, including J.C. Campagna.
Yeah, I'd say that's some green trim there. It's kind of difficult to see exactly what shade of green it is, but it's a type of green, I suppose. The St. Thomas Tommies of New Brunswick.
St. Thomas Tommies seems to be a popular nickname for a St. Thomas school. I know a couple of them. As it's the Engineers who will move it out of their end. Melanson a long outlet pass. Stopped up at the line, swatted into the zone by Jesper Orval, one of the newcomers for RPI. Back the other way comes St. Thomas. Big hit along the near side wall. Here's Chris Bradley, DDD in his own zone. Quickly ahead through Orval. Picked off by Marc-Andre Levesque. He'll play it back to his defensive partner, Eric Diodato, who dumps it in. Far corner. Chase it down over there, Bradley. Leave it in the corner. Liljegren plays it back behind. Nobody there. Riley Bourbonnais back to pick it up at his own half wall. Takes a look around. Flings it ahead into the glove of Orval. Hasn't taken a change it. Now he does 1 minute into the game. Far side, Jordan Moore of his own end behind the net near corner. Bumped off the puck by Bubella. And now skated out to center. 2-on-2 as they hit the red line towards the RPI end of the ice. In the corner they go. Bryce Milson plays it behind for Latina. Anthony Latina. He'll cycle it back for Milson. Milson again. Cycles the puck even further for the third line. Meant Frisch has it taken off his stick, and the Engineers look to break back. Bourbonnais has a man with him. It's Prapavessis. They nearly run into each other. Prapavessis lets Bourbonnais run it in front or slide it in front of the net. It was swatted away by the defenseman Sawyer Haney, and it's back out to center ice, controlled there by Wilson. Jared Wilson, sophomore from Calgary, Alberta, up ahead for Jake Wood. Wood to Schrader, trying to backhand into the zone. Shot right back out by Diodati. Back to his own blue line. And now backtracking is Dylan Donnelly. Long stretch pass off the mark. Should be icing on the Tommies, and it is. We get a stoppage, a minute 59 into period number 1. It's no score, RPI and St. Thomas University.
Lines for tonight for the Engineers. They are allowed extra spots because it's an exhibition game, but they're dressing 12 forwards and 6 defensemen as they usually would. Drew Melanson is with Victor Liljegren and Jesper Orval on the top line. Riley Bourbonnais with Milios Bubilla and Zach Schrader on the second line.
There's a bump along the far side wall. Gillespie has it. Kenny Gillespie, a sophomore from South Carolina. Using that big physical body. Looked a little bit trimmer this summer than I saw him from a year ago. See if that helps him this season. He really came on towards the end of last year and saw some playing time. Engineers had to like what they saw from his development wise. Here is Gillespie fighting for the puck in the corner. He looks to cycle now for Wood. Wood leaves it in the corner for Jimmy DeVito. This is a hard-hitting line here for RPI. This is work to the far side. Parker Reno pinching in. A nice job by him to keep it alive for DeVito. He gets bumped to the corner by Diodati. And now Wood, top of the circle, turns and fires wide of the netminder Teichman. Tyson Teichman for the Tommies. Say that 3 times fast. Here's Diodati out of his own end, far side. Outlet pass connects into the attacking zone. It's Chowdhury. And he takes a hit. He's listed as the extra defenseman, so he may be playing anywhere. There's a collision in front of the RPI bench. Travis Fulton gets away. He'll dump it in. Chase it down to Alex Rodriguez, the first one to it. Finding Fulton, throwing it in front. Rebound, Bell. He fired wide. He had a lot of net to shoot at, but he missed the net. And it's off a skate all the way down. This will negate the icing. 16:42 to go. First period. RPI with its best chance. Bradley Bell with the opportunity. Does not have a collegiate goal in 19 games. A season ago did have 2 assists. Here is Bell up the near side wall for Bradley, the senior. Bradley Bell and Chris Bradley on the same defensive pairing to make lives fun for us in the broadcast booth. Here come the Engineers back the other way. Lonnie Clary ahead for his classmate Rodriguez, who just dumps it in off the back wall. Back the other way come the Tommies, far side neutral zone off a stick. Was laid on along the ice by Liljegren. Played back with Prapavesis. Prapavesis, the sophomore blue liner from Oakville, Ontario. A goal and 7 assists for him last year. Gets it back from Jesper Orval. Orval calling for the puck, gets it here, trying to touch it around the defender. It's kicked away by Jordan Moore. And the Engineers have it quickly back again. Liljegren overskated the puck. He's in offside. He'll have to touch up. Prapavesis trying to feed it back to him. Picked up by Melanson. Stops in the center ice logo. Ahead for Liljegren. Top of the circle. Liljegren walking in. Wrist shot save. Big rebound is swatted away and all the way down the ice. It'll be icing as Sawyer Haney was just trying to put that puck anywhere but right in the slot.
Third and fourth lines for RPI tonight. Jake Wood is with Jimmy DeVito and Kenny Gillespie. And the fourth line, Lonnie Clary, Travis Fulton, and Alex Rodriguez. On defense for RPI, Chris Bradley is, as Perry mentioned, with Bradley Bell. Jared Wilson is with Mike Prapavesis, and Phil Hampton and Parker Reno are the final pairing.
Face-off win, offensive zone. Wilson a drive. Goaltender didn't see it, but he kept it out. Teichman made the save. Looked like with his abdomen. Puck in the corner. Schrader throws a hit. So does Babella, but the Tommies only have it told away. Here's Schrader, a shot that's blocked. He'll try and track it down along the far side half-boards, tips it along for Bourbonnais to the corner for Babella. Babella spinning, firing it blindly in front of the net, nobody home. It's picked up by Haney. Haney out to center, bouncing puck into the RPI zone, right in the middle of the slot. Swept to the side, far corner by Prapavesis. Chased down there by Milson. Now a shot from, a tight angle. Goes way wide. It'll come all the way out of the zone. It'll be picked up at center ice by Dylan Donnelly. Back to his own end. He skates to the far side of the ice, throws it into his own bench. Little bit of trouble with that one as he fired at one of his own teammates there. But we'll have a face-off coming in the Tommy zone.
Well, as we've mentioned, in net for the Engineers tonight, Jason Kasdorf, the senior out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, had numbers last year. A record of 11, 19, and 2. Goals against average of 2.97, although a lot of that was coming off of an injury not only the season prior, but also suffered an injury basically in the middle of last season. Took him a little bit of time to come back from that one, but once he was back late last season, he was pretty much as strong as he's been in net for the Engineers, and that includes his freshman year where he arguably led the team to a second-place finish in the ECAC.
Face-off just outside the RPI zone. It's Phil Hampton, now a senior, up the near side boards, trying to get it ahead for Wood. Turn right back around by Chowdhury. And the Engineers play it back. And then it's swatted right back the other way. So a little back and forth here. Hampton picks it up in his own zone near circle. Fires it far side. Off the wall to center, right back into the zone come the Tommies. That was a little bit too far out in front of the intended target. That being Colin Martin. Flipped ahead for Gillespie, trying to push into the offensive zone. Could be a 2-on-1 down low. He has Wood wide open. Oh, and he put it wide of him. He had a chance to find him. There was a defender who was a little bit in the way, but Gillespie fired that pass right by Wood. Here's Fulton. Backing up to his own end, finds Bradley up ahead for Clary. Pass behind Rodriguez. They're offside. And we'll have a stoppage in play. So maybe some chemistry early on between Clary and Rodriguez. That could be what the Engineers coaching staff is looking for.
Well, they're two freshmen on the same line here and didn't quite have what they were looking for on that play as Clary was unable to get it to Rodriguez onside. But nonetheless, an opportunity there for the Engineers to see exactly what they have out of their freshman classes. They have 2 out of the 3 on the, yes. There's 2 out of the 3 on the 4th line that are of the freshman class. They're being centered by senior Travis Fulton here tonight.
Bradley Bell back on it, up the far side boards, and all the way down it goes. It will be icing on the Engineers. We'll have a stoppage here. 13-14 left in the first period. Just 2 shots in this game. They both belong to RPI. And it's been a pretty tightly checked game, and pretty much what you'd expect from an exhibition game so far.
Officials tonight, Brian Hicks and Jason Williams are your referees. Anthony Kenny and Matt Luther, the linesmen. As we get set for a center ice face-off here at the Fieldhouse. 13-14 left to go in the first period. No score just yet. The Engineers do seem to have the better of the puck possession so far here in the first period.
Face-off at center ice. It'll be Liljegren up against Jason Cameron. And the top scorer, excuse me, that was Randy Cameron, I beg your pardon. Jason Cameron, the RPI wins the draw. Back behind their own net. It's Jared Wilson. He scored some pretty big goals for RPI last year. 3 of them, 6 assists for him. As it's picked up by Prapavesis. Prapavesis has a very distinct skating style. Always seems to be able to move laterally at any time. Very solid at maneuvering the puck in the offensive zone. He'll flip it off the boards. There's a big collision in front of the St. Thomas bench. Here is Prapavesis from Melanson. Cross ice pass behind the intended target. Whipped ahead for Liljegren. Off the stick of Melanson. Or make it to Orville, rather. RPI wants to change. Long outlet pass doesn't connect. Should be icing again on St. Thomas, and it is. 12:22 left in the first. We are still scoreless.
One thing about Drew Melanson is he looks an awful lot bigger than he was last year. He seems to have put in an awful lot of time in the weight room this summer. That's at least what I'm assuming. His size is significantly larger than he was as a freshman, and that's probably going to be a good sign for the Engineers when your top scorer comes back bigger.
Face off in the offensive zone. Bourbonnais battling for it there. Bobella comes to help out. Pinching in is Parker Reno along the far side boards, but it's St. Thomas out to center ice with it. Loose near side. They'll move it into RPI territory. Towing the line. Latina into the corner. He gets sandwiched by a couple Engineers. Tight angle shot hit the back of the net. Kasdorf had it covered. Schrader up ahead for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais all by himself as one man to beat. Top of the circle, pulls it back, moves in front, fires it wide and along the ice. He was pestered a bit there by Sawyer Haney. And it's fired all the way down and on goal. Kasdorf leaves it there for Bradley Bell. Bell from Sudbury, Ontario, former Sudbury Nickel Baron. And spinning around in his own zone is Chris Bradley for Bradley Bell. Up ahead for Schrader, all the way down. It'll be icing on RPI here. And we get another stoppage.
RPI's so far been able to move the puck through the neutral zone with relative ease. You really don't see that very frequently in the ECAC just because of the style of play of a lot of teams. Probably chalk that up a little bit more to just the style of St. Thomas, but RPI has made some good passes between the blue lines, and that's really what you want to see no matter what you're facing.
Draw to the right at Kasdorf. Back to the point. Shot from the point. Takes a couple changes of direction on its way through, but eventually misses Kasdorf's net. Bobella feeds it out to center, intercepted there by Diodati. That one skips by Bobella. Bouncing puck at center ice, swatted at by Gillespie, carried on by Wood into the zone. Near side circle, stops at the hash marks. He'll filter it down low. Gillespie absorbs a hit, battles with Donnelly there. Trying to move it out was Chowderly. And up ahead is caught by Martin. He's one-on-one with an RPI defender. That was Prapavesis. Tries to pass it across for Chowderly. That's off the mark. Now it's thrown right up the middle, but out of the zone. And the Tommies will have to restart in the neutral zone. Backtracking to his own zone is Marc-Andre Levesque. He'll flip it into the corner where Wilson waits. He'll play it near side for Wood. Wood off the boards. Looking for DeVito. Too far for him. Cameron has it. He'll play it back for Spencer McDonald. McDonald, far side of his own zone, gets it to the blue line. Just tossed up the far side boards. Does it have the legs for icing? No. Well weighted dump in there from his own side of the red line for McDonald. Now Gillespie taken away from him. Tried a little toe drag there. That was Campagna. It was broken up and flipped back ahead. Now Rodriguez, top of the circle. Quick snapshot blocked. Rebound comes free out to center, where the Engineers take over once again. Hampton near side for Fulton. Travis Fulton into the zone. Makes a move. He'll just play it deep and chase after it. Fulton off the backboards to himself. steps around to check of Moore, but lost the puck in the process. It comes high off the glass around to the near side half boards and out to center ice. Trying to make a move is Frisch. Drops it off for Latina. Centering pass in front. It's put wide. We get a whistle as the net comes off. And we may have a penalty here. Bobella went crashing into the cage. Or excuse me, that was Lonnie Clary. And he may have taken a penalty here with 9:41 left in the first.
Brian Hicks indicating a hooking call against the Engineers. And it will be Lonnie Clary, the freshman out of Riverside, California, taking this game's first penalty. The Engineers last year on the penalty kill were 79.7%. Probably want to see that a little bit better this year. That was 137 for 172 as RPI goes on their first penalty kill of this contest.
Engineers last year on the kill, 79.7%. That's 137 for 172. They'd like to see that number improve, of course. As the Tommies have it, near side point, Levesque feeds it into the corner near side. Engineers trying to dig it out of there. It's Bradley with Prapavesis on the kill defensively. Connor Sanvito loses it. Here comes Bobella shorthanded with Schrader. Bobella into the corner, all the way around behind, trying to feed it in front, put wide by Schrader. Caught the heel of his stick, but still got something on it. But he missed the net. Dumped in far side of the RPI zone. Parker Reno back to get it. Behind for Wilson. Wilson connects to Schrader, makes a move. It's poked free by Levesque and taken over by Campbell. Down the far side of the ice comes Sanvito. Sanvito into the zone. Taken away, stripped off his stick, and the Engineers try to clear but can't. Levesque, a little bit of room to work. Far side, shot fired wide off the stick of Moore. We are still scoreless here, 8:40 in the first period. First power play of the game for either team goes to St. Thomas University. Now a cross-ice pass is broken up by DeVito. He didn't know anything about it. Now a shot from the point is blocked by Parker Reno. He'll pick it up in the corner. Reno looking up ice, tries the near side. It's tipped all the way down by DeVito. He can do it from the own side of his red line, because the Engineers are still killing a penalty. 40 seconds to go on it. Behind their own net comes Jordan Moore. Moore up into the far corner. Chasing it down is Rankin Campbell. Liljegren pinned against the wall for a second. Comes free to the point. They can't keep it in. Haney back out to center. Goes D to D in the neutral zone. Now back to Haney in his own blue line. Up the near side boards. And into the zone, Campagna. And driving far side and being steered into the corner by Hampton was Campbell. Now Rainey down low. At the half boards, battled for by Bradley, and out of the box, the Engineers are back to even strength. Just one shot there. Shot coming to Liljegren, a glove save. Quick wrist shot from Victor Liljegren. The Stockholm, Sweden native had 7 goals and 5 assists last season in 40 games for RPI.
So far, Liljegren's been showing off a bit more speed than he had even last year, which was a significant amount. And if he can maneuver the puck well and take more shots like that, he'll be scoring goals.
Long outlet pass connects, breakaway chance, walking right in. Kasdorf with a save on Milson. Bryce Milson got a step behind the RPI defense, and Kasdorf made the stop. Milson probably wants another chance at that, although he did have a defender breathing down his neck as he was skating into the zone. Made it a little bit uncomfortable for him, but he was clean and away from the RPI defense as Wilson gives it away there. Tommy's trying to break in. Latina into the zone, steered away by Prapavesis. Shot from the top of the circle is blocked by Wilson again. Prapavesis again. Orval taps it out to center. He'll try and track it down himself and will. Jesper Orval into the zone. Through his own legs behind the net. Still Orval. Not very big. Jesper Orval listed at 5'9", 170. But he's shown his ability to slither around the ice. There's a puck gloved down by Bell. Gets run over at the blue line. And out comes Diodati into the RPI zone. Plays it deep. Behind the cage, picked up by Bradley. Cross-ice feed connects to Bell. Bradley Bell into the offensive zone. Had to kick it to himself, but stays on side. Knocked down in the corner by Dylan Donnelly. Bell still in deep with the puck. He's pinched up against the boards. Gillespie now, he gets taken off it. Up the far wall and out to center. Parker Reno back to get it, the junior from Edina, Minnesota. Former member of one of the powerhouses in Minnesota high school hockey, Edina High School. down the middle of the ice. Connects there to Schrader. Into the zone for Gillespie. Top of the circle. Wrist shot. Shoulder save made by Teichman. Up the near side wall. And Martin will shoot it into the crowd. Fortunately for him, I don't think there's that many folks in that area where he shot, although we do have a decent crowd here today.
The Engineers want to work on their rebound skills. They may be in for an opportunity here this evening, as Tyson Teichman is certainly leaving some juicy ones for the Engineers, but they haven't been able to snap any up quite yet and bury them.
Levesque, right in front of the RPI bench, gave it away. Tipped in deep, however, by the Tommies into the far corner. Phil Hampton played it further on towards the far boards, taken over, however, and walking out in front. Campagna tried to stuff it in, but he's defended by Liljegren. Now another centering pass, that's broken up, and it's moved out to center ice. Melanson dumping it in, Orval trailing. Melanson trying to get around the defender who's just trying to shield him off the puck. That was Spencer McDonald. Puck out to center and into RPI territory near side, played there. Up ahead to Liljegren from Wilson. Liljegren into the zone, left it at the blue line, but went across it first, and that'll draw the whistle offside.
One of the things that we're watching to see here for the Engineers tonight is just how much they can hold up to a team that's going to throw their weight around. At least that's what I thought heading into this game, but so far not really that much physicality from either of these teams, which to some extent is good because it's an exhibition game and you don't want anybody coming out of this one hurt.
Certainly the case there. Puck picked up in their own zone by the Tommies. They'll move it out to center ice. A little bit of speed. It's Milsom who had that breakaway moments ago, turned away by Kasdorf, keeping this game scoreless. We're 4.5 to go in the first period. Puck behind the goal. Gillespie hounding the defender Haney, but he does get it out to center. Now Gillespie is found. He'll fire it in wide of goal. Helped to the corner by the goal stick of Teichman. That one skips by Haney into the near side. Engineers take over. Rodriguez down low. Drop it back. Fulton. Fulton walking in. A shot was blocked. It'll be picked up by Latina. He'll throw it off the glass out to center. Wilson gloves it down. He plays it D to D over to the far side. Prabhavesa is waiting. Nearly had his pocket pick, but strong on the puck. Just plays it up the far boards, where it's taken over in the corner by the Tommies. Moore near side. Throwing a hit there to work it free was Rodriguez. Moore again. Tapped away. Rodriguez has it in the corner now. Alex Rodriguez cycling for Fulton. Fulton centering pass. Bradley a shot. Didn't get a lot on it. Steered away by the goal stick of Teichman. Penalty coming up here as Clary throws a hit. And now we're going to get some extra pushing and shoving. Rodriguez and Clary showing early on they're not afraid to mix it up. Both of them come in with a plethora of penalty minutes in their previous years.
And another good shift there for RPI's fourth line here tonight. Clary, Fulton, and Rodriguez. The two freshmen hailing from somewhat warmer climes. Clary from Riverside, California. Rodriguez hailing from Miami. That's the one in Florida, the one in Ohio.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to see a penalty coming up here on St. Thomas. That was the original call. There was a delayed penalty just before Clary threw that hit, and it does appear that Clary's hit is going to cost the Engineers an opportunity for a power play, as they're going to nab him at the same time. So Clary already taking his second penalty of this game, and with 3:29 left in the first period, still no score. I think we're going to see some 4-on-4 hockey.
Sounds like it's going to be that. And they're going to sort the penalties out here. The faceoff's going to come outside the St. Thomas zone. Connor Sanvito's going to go off here for interference. And it's going to be Lonnie Clary, the freshman from Riverside, California, as Tom mentioned. He gets a hit after the whistle call, but RPI right after the draw. Shot goes wide from Bourbonnais. It was a kind of a 2-on-1 down low with Babella. Bourbonnais probably did the right thing and shot there. Puck near side in the RPI zone. Carrying it back out to center was Campagna. Given away. Here's Babella walking in. Babella's a breakaway goal for Milos Babella. The Engineers are on the board.
4-on-4 4 tally, but Milos Bubella was all alone, just outweighted Teichmann, forced him to make the first move. Once he did, all Bubella had to do was just kind of glide off to his right a little bit, put it on the backhand, and shovel it into the net. 1-0 Engineers.
Engineers scoring first here in this one, a 4-on-4 goal. Bubella, who had 8 goals last year, picks up 1 here in this exhibition game. Of course, it will not count towards his 2015-16 total. Melanson back the other way for RPI. Drops it off far circle. Prapavesis stops there. 2:45 left first period. The Engineers are on the board. As that one's up a stick and into the near corner. Melanson's going to track it down there. Melanson centering at the back door. Prapavesis, Schrader a drive, and that one's blocked away. Not sure if it was Teichmann or not, but somehow they're able to keep it out. RPI looking very dangerous here in this 4-on-4 spot. Puck trickling to the far side of the St. Thomas zone, and now it's out to center. Where is it? In deep. Some confusion there on both sides of the puck, and here is Melanson now. Skating out near side, plays it far side for Schrader. He'll jump into the offensive zone. Zach Schrader trying to drop it back. For Melanson, doesn't connect. Latina moves it out to center, controlled by Hampton. Little saucer pass, far side of his own zone, gets it back there from Marino. 22 seconds left of 4-on-4 play. Liljegren drops it off Orval. Orval circle, walking in below the goal line, extended, spins around and throws a blind backhand pass to nobody. Carried back the other way by Donnelly. Donnelly near side for Frisch. Into the zone, and we have a delayed offside whistle here. We'll stop play with 1:35 left in the first. It's Milos Bubella who scored the only goal of this game.
And Bubella's goal is officially listed as unassisted. It's an even strength goal at 4-on-4. Time of the goal was 16:53 of the first period. I thought he put that one in on his backhand, but he actually quickly moved from his backhand right back to his forehand and shoveled it in. A nice little quick move there by the senior from Slovakia to put RPI up 1-0 here in this exhibition.
5-on-5 here, minute 25 left. Orval stick handling, flings it far side, too far for everybody. Although the Engineers jump on it quickly and steal the puck away in the offensive end. Drop pass from Liljegren. That's back out to center. Chris Bradley picks it up there. Now Bell. Indirect pass behind his own goal for Chris Bradley. Long pass outletted too far for Orval. Not enough for icing either. Played there by Haney. Far side for Chowdhury. Tipped in deep. Kasdorf will stop it behind the cage, where it's played on for Prapavesis. He leaves it in the far corner for Wilson. Wilson takes a hit from Chowdhury. And now Wilson on it, or Prapavesis rather, near side for Wood. Under a minute to go in the period, 40 seconds to be exact, as Wood carries in. He'll ring it around to the far corner. Moore there, so is Gillespie. Gillespie just knocks his man down, stays on the puck. Wood, 30 seconds to go in the period. Far side point, back to the corner. Some room for Haney to look up ice. He'll play it up the boards. It's broken up, however, by DeVito. Picked up by Gillespie. Gillespie back in the net, looking to feed it in front. He carries it all the way to the far corner with 17. He'll cycle it off for Wood. Wood walking in front, made a little move, but lost the puck in the process. And that'll allow the Tommies that's kind of to move it softly out to center into RPI territory. We get a whistle here, and we're going to get a penalty here. It's going to be a slash, and it's to go on RPI with just 5.8 seconds left in this first period.
And it's Jimmy DeVito heading off for the Engineers. A slashing call in the waning moments of the opening period. Puts RPI back on the penalty kill. They're 1 for 1 so far killing penalties this evening, and unless something happens pretty quickly here, they'll be killing this one on the fresh ice in the second period.
Face off to the right of Jason Kasdorf. Engineers try to win this draw and head to the locker room with a lead. There's a shot coming. Shoulder saved by Kasdorf. Swung at and missed in the corner by Cameron. And so the Tommies did get a chance off of that late draw. Kasdorf made the save with his right shoulder. And that will do it for the first period. Not a lot of shots. I believe they're going to be 6-5 when it's all said and done. But the Engineers get the only goal. A Milos Bubella breakaway made a nifty move to beat Tyson Teichmann for the only goal of this game, Tom. So not a lot going on until Bubella kind of made something out of nothing. A little bit of a gaffe, though, you have to say, by the Tommies defense.
Yeah, but that's an important part of being able to score goals sometimes, is to take advantage of those mistakes. That's something that the Engineers just didn't do enough of last year. You have to punish a team when they make mistakes, especially in their own zone or deep in the neutral zone. And that's exactly what Milos Bubella did right there, taking control of that loose puck, bringing it in by himself, and then just finishing it off. That's the difference in this game so far. Jason Kasdorf not really called on too terribly much, but he did have a stop on a breakaway, played it pretty much perfectly, outweighted the shooter, made the shooter take the first move, and he was right in a good position to make that stop. And then in the last couple of seconds on the penalty kill there, had a couple of good saves to keep this one a 1-0 game in favor of the Engineers.
Thanks, Tom. With that, we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with our first intermission, which will be our interview with RPI head coach Seth Apper that Tom did prior to tonight's game. So with that, your score after one period is RPI 1 and St. Thomas University nothing. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. but he's never really put it all together for a season. And of course, as a senior, this is when you want these guys to kind of put everything, the complete package together, and they're hoping for a big year for Milo.
Yeah, generally speaking, I mean, you don't want their careers to be peaking right now, but you want their college careers to be peaking as seniors. And Milos Bubella is really one of those guys that RPI is going to need to step up and have a big year if they're going to succeed. And so far tonight, that's exactly what we've seen from him. Even if it's just in that one moment, he made St. Thomas pay for a mistake they made, and it was to the Engineers' benefit. Before we start with the second period, I'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the fun club-related activities of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as WRPI is broadcasting, we provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org.
RPI skating from left to right across your radio dials as we begin period number 2. It's 1-0 Engineers. The goal by senior Milos Bubella from Banska Bystrica, Slovakia. It looks like we have, is he wearing a new mask or am I crazy? Goaltender, Teichmann. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anyway, the Tommies shoot it in. I don't remember wearing a gold mask in the first period. Anyway, we play on here. Shot coming from the near point. A fake shot, in fact. It's filtered down low and slapped around to the far corner. Levesque, near side, gets it back from Diodati. Shot was blocked high in the air by Chris Bradley. Felt that one a bit, but it did the job as it comes all the way out to center ice. 19:20 on the clock. We are just underway in the second period. Power play, still a minute 2 left on it for St. Thomas. Diodati trying to jump into the offensive end. Didn't have the puck, and now Melanson trying to break the other way shorthanded with speed. Walking in Melanson, shot in the glove, save made by Tyson Teichmann. He holds on there.
That's not the first shorthanded opportunity the Engineers have had here tonight either. That's a good chance there by the Engineers' top forward line. And Victor Liljegren has had some opportunities in this game. That's definitely not the first one either. So another guy that the Engineers are going to be looking for big things from this year is the 6'3" sophomore out of Stockholm, Sweden, Victor Liljegren.
RPI putting a couple Swedes together there in that top line with Orval and Liljegren. Not surprising. Put the warm weather folks together and the folks from Scandinavia together. Parker Reno in the near corner of his own zone has the puck tied up. Still 35 seconds to go on the St. Thomas kill. The Engineers get it all the way down on a clearance that splits the defenders. Out to play it is Teichmann, the goaltender. He leaves it at the side of the cage for Dylan Donnelly. Donnelly crossing center. He'll ring it in. Bounding around to the far side corner. Slapped at by Wilson. Wood over there as well. Played behind by Milson. Good poke check there by Prapavesis. Knocks it free. But cycling it is Bryce Milson once again. Back to the point. Moore. Far side connects there. Chowdhury to the far side half wall. Engineers are back to full strength as Babella's out of the box. Near side feed. Moore off a stick. Pops over Kasdorf and behind the goal. Jake Wood, far side of his own zone. Cross ice pass hits his skate. That was the back checking Anthony Latina. Latina will backhand it deep. Stopped there by Kasdorf. Left for Wilson, and now up the near side boards for Riley Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais, the junior, working it up the near wall out of Rochester, New York. Gets it ahead of Bubella, who avoids the check but lost the puck in deep. Wood wraps it around to the near corner. Riley Bourbonnais there, takes a look around, plays it back towards the point. Bradley Bell walking center ice, shot goes off the side of the net, rippled the netting. Now a centering pass, Bubella trying to poke it on goal, picks it up back up in the near corner. Bubella trying to turn away from the check from Haney. Bubella still on it. All the way back to the point, just one-handing the puck, works it down low now. Bourbonnais out of the corner. Whistle here as the net is knocked off, pointing outside the zone, or excuse me, inside the zone, as it looks like it was Wood coming together with Jason Cameron for St. Thomas.
Yeah, that's certainly Teichmann there, still in net. I'm not sure what you were thinking about his helmet, because
was he wearing that thing the whole game?
I think so. Yeah. Have to go back to the video replay, maybe.
Yeah, I might have to have someone pull that up for me. Yeah, it's been Teichmann the whole time. I thought he might have changed his mask, but Again, it's been a long day, so I could be crazy. Jimmy DeVito back out of his own zone, plays it back to Reno, and into the zone far side is Orval. Pulls it back, takes a shot over the top of the net. Comes all the way free to Hampton to the near point. He can't keep it in. He'll backtrack to his own zone, fires it across for Reno, and now Schrader. Hampton, one touch up the wall, trying to find DeVito in front of the RPI bench area as Cam Hackett looks on, the RPI backup goaltender. We'll see if he sees any time later in this game. Parker Reno, there's only 2 goaltenders dressed. Sam Goodman not dressed for RPI. He's the senior walk-on, former RPI ACHA goaltender. Shot by Schrader, easily waffle boarded aside by Teichman, and it's carried back out to center by Chowdhury. Chowdhury is shot, sticked up into the netting by Kasdorf, who's looked calm so far in this game. He hasn't been tested outside of that breakaway from Bryce Milson.
And that's what you want to see out of your goaltender anyways. If he's making routine saves look difficult, that's when you need to be a little nervous. But when he's just easily sticking things aside in that manner, you know he's feeling confident about his game.
Face-off pushed off the wall and chased down. It was Lonnie Clary trying to get on it. Intercepted by Rodriguez. Had to wait for Clary to touch up. Now he fires at one on goal. Easy stop there for Teichman on the long shot from the blue line. Now Rodriguez throws his weight around. Tipped pass in front from Clary, or Fulton rather. And it's moved back out to center. Shot in off the glass in the far corner of the RPI zone. Battling for it there. Chowdhury, and now a long outlet pass for Prapavesis. Prapavesis leading the attack into the zone, stops top of the near circle, waiting for help, spins around and feeds it down low all the way to the far corner. Trying to step through a hip check was Clary, couldn't do it. Pass off the skate of San Vito. And now Clary throwing his weight around in front of the RPI bench area. Liljegren digs away. Puck goes into RPI's end of the ice. It'll be picked up by Bradley. Bradley all the way down, quick find. He's got Orval. Orval walking in, a shot, and he put it wide. He was looking for the near corner. And it was a quick move. You can see his hands at work there. He a little bit too much on the stick handle as he missed it short side. Now Orval again. Saw him just leak out there. No one picked him up. Cross-ice feed from Liljegren, picked up by Reno. Top of the far circle. Reno walking in, takes a wrister. That one was blocked. And it's carried on out of danger by Haney. Haney's lead pass is behind the intended target, picked off by Orval. Far side, Parker Reno. Touch pass for Orval, moving into the zone. Top of the circle, still Orval. Makes a move behind the net, centering pass loose. Melanson takes a whack at it, loose at the side of the cage. And it's helped on by Donnelly to the near wall. Back behind the net, trying to move it out far side. The Tommies do. They have a 2-on-2. They elect to just dump it in and go off on a chain. Parker Reno picks it up for RPI. Ahead for DeVito. On further for Gillespie, who taps it into the Tommy zone. Taking a look around is Marc-Andre Levesque as it's moved up the boards. Shot near side center ice, nobody home. Prapavesis has it for RPI. He'll shoot it right back in. Rattles around to the far half boards, and it's swatted out to center. Wilson absorbs a hit. Puck comes free. Orval saucer pass to his own end, near side for Prapavesis. Prapavesis up the boards. Ahead for Wilson, tapped down further and into St. Thomas territory. Gillespie runs his man into the wall. Puck just sits there, peeled away by Cameron for St. Thomas. Gillespie dumps Cameron behind the net. Bella, a slapper and a wicked one that was rising up off the glass, and it shoots all the way back into RPI territory where Kasdorf stops it behind the cage. He'll play it on further near corner for Prapavesis. Up the wall for Bella. And now a pass ahead through the legs of Schrader, can't control, picked up in the St. Thomas zone. They whack it off the glass. Wood gets sandwiched up against the bench area for St. Thomas on the far side, and now he picks it up and skates with it. Wood, near side for Schrader, stops at the blue line, feeds it on the backhand, looking for Wood, too far in front, given away, walking to Bella, wrist shot over the top of the net. He was right in the slot, and on that giveaway nearly took advantage of another mistake by the Tommies. Chowdhury flips it in the air, gave it away. Bourbonnais, a shot pad save. Pops right back to him, but it's swatted away by Chowdhury. Picked up in the near corner by the Engineers. Bourbonnais onto the backhand of Bell. He couldn't do much with it, but feed it back into the corner. They tie up there. Here is Bourbonnais again. Goal line extended, goes behind the cage to the far corner. Still Bourbonnais, up top Bell. Fakes a shot, far point Bradley. He's cut off, shot on goal, blocked away by Chowdhury. Chaudhry takes a look up ice, who played up the far boards, helped on further. Outlet pass stolen away by Bell. Fans applaud as it's played ahead quickly to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais at the blue line, moves at center ice, still walking in Bourbonnais, a shot, and that was deflected over the top. We've seen Bourbonnais do that, thinking right back to that game where he had the hat trick against Union. He'll just take the puck, and he's a little bit deceptive. He kind of skates out to the middle of the ice, and nobody kind of picked him up there. He got a pretty clean look.
Over the course of the last couple of seasons, his biggest thing is just getting the puck where he needs to be on net and in the right spot. That's something that Jesper Orvald just missed on his breakaway. He had Teichmann pretty much dead to rights, but just couldn't pinpoint it exactly where he needed it to be in order to put it in the net.
Into the RPI zone they go. Reno's stick is tied up by Milson. Gets it back to the point. Rister's blocked. Shot coming. Another save by Kasdorf going post to post. It wasn't the best shot, though, from Jordan Moore, who kind of put it on Kasdorf's pad as he slid across the ice. We're going to have a whistle here and an icing call on RPI.
Sometimes you just got to make it look easier than it really is. And when Jason Kasdorf is on, he can make a difficult save look relatively easy. And got helped out a little bit there on a weaker shot, but still kept it out of the net. So with 11:51 left in the second period, it's still a goose egg on the board for St. Thomas, thanks to Jason Kasdorf.
Near side, Haney moves around one RPI forward, dumps it in. It's going to be Phil Hampton for the Engineers now. Up the near side boards for Rodriguez. He gave it away in the neutral zone. Milson passes it back to Moore. RPI backs off a bit. Moore carries on to center. Little scoop pass to the far corner. Milson's the first one to it. He gets bumped there by Reno. Seeing a lot of ice time here in the second period. Parker Reno. RPI electing to go with 6 defensemen. They had 8 listed in the starting lineup, but they're going to go with 6 to play in this game. So we will not, we'll have to wait and see on a couple of freshmen. Tie up in the near corner. 11:08 left in the second. As the puck is moved out to center ice by the Tommies, too far for the intended target. That was Frisch. Now Clary gets hit on his way into the zone. Drop pass. Marc-Andre Levesque for the Tommies. Long pass down the ice. Beating out the icing is Rankin Campbell. He's being watched by Prapaves. Has left the puck in the corner. And now Cameron taken away by Prapaves. Touch pass ahead for Fulton. Crossing center, near side, stops top of the circle, holds it, drops it back. Melanson faking a shot, fires a pass. He was looking for Wilson cutting to the net. Was off the mark. Picked up far circle, now Melanson. His pass again is blocked and carried out to center ice by the Tommies. Taking a hit, but getting it deep is Donnelly. Prapaves has it, gives it off for Melanson. He picks up speed to the neutral zone. Drew Melanson into the attacking zone, gets kneed there and goes down. Penalty coming. And then Melanson throws a little whack into Donnelly, who wasn't the guy who kneed him, but showing a little bit of frustration there. And Melanson's going to be lucky if he doesn't take a penalty here, because he just slashed Donnelly's shin pads after the whistle.
Well, RPI may be also in danger of getting a penalty to Jared Wilson, who went after the man who did go after Melanson, or who did knee Melanson. Now some more extracurriculars at center ice as Melanson and Bradley exchange pleasantries with Dylan Donnelly, who again wasn't the man who kneed Melanson. That was the man who's.
That's a dangerous play. It's a very dangerous play. Yeah,
Diodati's heading off for that knee. It was a dangerous play. 2-minute power play coming up for the Engineers. This is going to be their first power play of the evening with 10:08 left in the second period and holding a 1-0 lead. Their power play also not a strength last year for the Engineers, just 11.4%. That is 13 for 114 opportunities.
I'd like to remind you are listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy, Peerless Garrison, Tom Reel. On the call here for RPI's exhibition game. This does not count for the regular season. It's the St. Thomas University Tommies from New Brunswick and the RPI Engineers from here in Troy. Here's Prapaves as the Engineers start the man advantage. Prapaves is a drive from the point. That one's blocked in front and cleared all the way down. Stopped by Kasdorf. And now Prapaves ahead for Melanson. Melanson all the way in deep. Tried to drop it back. It was broken up. Swatted out to center. All the way down it goes. Picked up by Liljegren behind Kasdorf. He'll leave it there as it's carried up the middle of the ice. Melanson far side. Stick handling Orval. Drops it back off from Melanson. Back to the point. Bradley holding, waiting. Fakes the slap shot. Top of the circle, Orval walking into a wrister. That's blocked up into the netting. And we'll have a stoppage here. 1:10 to go on the RPI power play. 9:17 left second period. Shots are 14-6 RPI. Milos Babella, the only goal this game so far.
Well, Perry, you mentioned that a few of the freshmen not dressing tonight. We heard from Seth Abbott in the first intermission about wanting to field basically a regular team that you'd put out there during a regular season game. The missing freshmen tonight, Mears Moore and Tommy Grant, defenseman, and Evan Tyranese, a forward.
Shot was blocked by Babella. Bourbonnais has it in the corner. Bouncing puck up the far boards. Bradley gets there first to keep it in the zone, but it's knocked all the way down by the penalty killer, Rankin Campbell. Kasdorf leaves it behind the goal for Bradley. Chris Bradley for Babella. Now Bourbonnais. Not the way you want to enter the zone, but the Engineers do get it in. Although it's picked off and hammered right back down by the Tommies. Back to get it, Bradley. Senior from Williamsville, New York. Former Youngstown Phantom of the USHL. Into the zone comes Fulton. Tie up along the half wall. Free to the point. Bradley has it. Takes the slapper, broke his stick. And now he'll have to defend with that one, although they catch a break as the Tommies just shoot the puck right out of play. That's not what Latina was trying to do. Bradley had to get back defensively because he was the last man back, but did not have a stick.
And RPI is trying to insist that the face-off is supposed to be in the St. Thomas zone as the puck was shot out of the zone, and that's exactly where it's going to be, directly to the left of Tyson Teichman with 13 seconds remaining on the penalty to Diodati.
Draw coming up here to the left of Teichman. 8:20 on the clock. Another 10 seconds to go in the RPI power play. That should do it as the Tommies cleared all the way down. So not all too productive on the power play for RPI through one opportunity. But they did get the puck in the zone a couple of times. Bouncing at center ice, Campbell takes a whack at it. Does get it deep. Picked up by Phil Hampton. Hampton up the near boards. Too far for Orval. And now Campbell for St. Thomas. Excuse me, Campagna. Turning and shooting there. Oh, that was Jason Cameron. But he didn't get it on goal. It was blocked. Fed to the side of the net. Only Liljegren is there. He'll skate back the other way with it. Has Orval with him as the two Swedes hit the line with Melanson trailing. Played into the near corner. Melanson feeds it back up top. Nice catch by Reno. Plays it to his defensive partner far side. Touch pass, drop pass, and a drive by Reno that caught the defenseman Moore in a bad spot. And there's a shot by Orval. May have been headed wide, but it had to be gloved by Teichman. That was a bomb there, and Moore is feeling it wherever he caught that one. Somewhere in the leg, I think, on the drive by Reno.
Yeah, Reno spiked that one pretty much directly into Moore's foot. He gets off favoring the foot that took the brunt of that strike. Definitely a good slapper there by Parker Reno. Moore just basically in the wrong place at the wrong time. Although, in hockey terms, that was in the right place at the right time to stop the shot.
Shot from the point by Prapavesis, turned away. Wood behind the net trying to feed it out to the side of the cage. Taking a stick up high. And that's the price you pay sometimes for wearing the half shield like a lot of these guys are for St. Thomas. But taking a high stick was Colin Martin, and Gillespie's going to go off here. Whether you're wearing a half shield or not, it's a high stick.
Exactly. It doesn't really matter. It's going to hurt more. Yeah, so Kenny Gillespie, the sophomore out of Morrisville, South Carolina, is going off to serve a 2-minute high sticking penalty. RPI goes back on the penalty kill. They're 2 for 2 thus far this evening. And this one comes with 6:54 left in the second period. RPI still holding that 1-0 lead.
Kenny's looking good on his new headshot up on the video board here at center ice. So Moore's going to go off here to the locker room, to the dressing room, probably to get that face looked at. There's no rule for these Canadian teams, they have to wear the full shield like there is in college hockey in the NCAA. So
none of them are wearing a full shield.
I guess that's what happens if you don't have to. None of them do. Diodati carrying it far side, works it down low, gets it back from Marc-Andre Levesque, and that's a shot right on. Kasdorf no rebound with a man camped out in front, J.C. Companion.
Of course, that's been a topic of discussion in the U.S. when it comes to college hockey, wondering if that might in some way actually lead to fewer sticking calls if all the players are open to that type of injury where, RPI player may be a little bit more willing to play up with their stick because they know that they're not going to get hit in the head.
That's a discussion that can be made across all sports.
Exactly.
All contact sports, at least. But we can get into another time here with 6.5 to go in the second period. Maybe that'll be a topic of discussion or second intermission. Here's a shot off the mask of Kasdorf. Speaking of masks, played around to the near side corner. Still on the power play for another minute 20 are the Tommies here. As Tom mentioned, they are 0 for 2 so far. Trying to dig it out of the far half boards. Chowdhury back towards the point, out of play, but it goes into the bench. Faceoff will stay in the RPI zone. Exactly 6 minutes left to go in the second. Another minute 8 on the Gillespie penalty.
Well, so far the RPI penalty kill looking pretty good. I mean, obviously they haven't allowed a power play goal here this evening as Jason Kasdorf continues to be pitching a shutout thus far after 34 minutes in this one. But RPI doing a good job of keeping the pressure down when they're killing that penalty, which is what you want to see.
Draw to the left of Kasdorf, won by the Engineers. Prapaves is a clearance, and it stays on the ice this time all the way down. Stopped there by Tyson Teichman, the goaltender for the Tommies. Leaves it off for Jordan Moore, who's back to skating with maybe a little bit of pain, but he's out there anyway. He was the one who blocked the shot from Reno a little bit ago in this period. Now the Engineers break out, shorthanded 3-on-2 into the zone. Prapaves, top of the near circle, walking in, a wrist shot. That was off a stick and up into the glass behind the goal. Taken over by Andrew Frisch for St. Thomas. Sawyer Haney crosses center and dumps into the far corner. It'll roll behind the goal. Wilson trying to ring it out far side. Didn't have nearly enough on it. Haney stops it there at the far point. Back behind it goes. Comes down off the dasher. That'll allow the Engineers to get on it and potentially clear. Schrader fires it down this time. Zach Schrader getting that extra year of eligibility to come back and play from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Here, maybe the crowd counting down. The penalty is over. We're under 5 to go in the second. Still 1-0 RPI on a first period goal by Milos Fabella. Unassisted tally. Here's Hampton leading the charge now. Into the zone, top of the circle, far side. Broke his stick. That'll come in on Teichman. And we'll have a stoppage here.
We're kind of reaching the point now where RPI's control of the game is kind of lending one to believe that maybe they should be 2 or 3 goals to the positive, at least in terms of what they're scoring. For a team that was struggling to score goals last year, you want to kind of shake that rust off as quickly as you possibly can, and that means burying opportunities. And other than the Bubella goal, they haven't been able to do that.
Shot high over the top from Melanza. They've been missing high quite a bit in this period. Liljegren coming together of sticks with Chowdhury. Puck back behind the RPI goal. Bradley Bell has it there. Liljegren tried to do a little dance move around his man. Didn't do it, but the Engineers keep the puck. Played out to center for Orval. Up ahead for Liljegren. Too far for him. Lifting the stick of Levesque, but he gets back on it and plays it ahead. Knocked down on the play was Latina. The Engineers trying to stay in the zone. Neither team can really lay claim to the puck, and now it's played in deep by Bell. Loose to the middle of the ice, intercepted by Melanson, who takes it away. Now he's in the corner, feeding it all the way through for Reno. He'll pull it back and take a shot, hits a skate. And now Latino will move it out to center all by himself. Tried to walk around Wilson, and that wasn't happening. And now Fulton. Outlet pass connects nicely to Orval. Orval into the zone. Trying to make a move around his man. That being Donnelly. You see how Orval adjusts his game to this college level. This is a good pass. Prapaves's shot and a save made. Teichmann, and he's got it covered, I think. Crowd over there probably saw the puck and didn't like the whistle. That's all I can imagine.
It was a little bit unfortunate that Clary didn't score on that one because it would have been a perfect capper. Well, it was a pretty good setup for him. Prapavessis made a nice move to get some open ice and basically found Clary, who one-touched it and took a shot. It was blocked down in front, and Teichmann was able to jump down on it to get the whistle. 3:21 left in the second period. RPI with a 1-0 lead on St. Thomas.
Puck right off the faceoff comes trickling in on Teichmann. He'll cover it up again. We've
seen some good things from this line. It's listed as the 4th line on our line chart, but this Clary, Fulton, and Rodriguez line, they've seen some pretty crisp passing, nice movement from the defensive zone through the neutral zone and into the attacking zone, and getting some decent opportunities to score.
Here's Haney trying to move it out near side. It's kept in, and then we have a hit after the whistle on Wilson, then a face wash, and he's not going to like that. His Jason Cameron was unhappy about something.
Well, it's not the first time that Cameron and Wilson have tangled here in the second period, because these teams are becoming a little more familiar with each other. Becoming at least more willing to get physical. At least it's been a more physical period in the second than it was in the first.
I always attribute that in these exhibition games to the fact that you've only been practicing against your teammates, and you finally get to play against someone else, and you have a little bit of pent-up frustration and anger. And no matter who you're playing against, you're gonna not like them very much. Fulton skates back behind his own net. He's being pressured. Plays it off for Wilson. Up the boards for Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez takes a whack there and a slash, and is going to draw a penalty, I think. That's going to be Connor Sanvito going off.
Slashing is the call.
Yeah,
yep.
Pretty clear.
And Rodriguez is favoring that right hand. That's where he picked up that slash as he was coming up along the near boards. Got his glove off. He's probably going to go back and have that checked out. He is going back into the locker room.
Yeah.
It was a pretty obvious slash.
He got him a couple times. Yeah. That was the issue.
RPI going back on the power play. They're 0 for 1 so far this evening, and they'll have 2 full minutes with 2:47 left in the second period, holding a 1-0 lead.
Prapavessis to Bell. He breaks his stick on a slapper. Where do they get these sticks? Move it back to the point. Obviously, Bell's not there. He had to go back to the bench. Puck goes all the way down the ice. Kasdorf plays it there. Now a giveaway in the defensive zone, but the Tommies will just elect to play it back out to center and rag the puck a bit. It's tipped in deep now. Karam's off the back wall behind Kasdorf. Prapavessis picks it up. The Engineers break out of their own end on the power play for another minute 26. It's Melanson down the middle of the ice. Feeds it far side for Orvald. Played it back to the point for Prapavessis, far side. Near point, Bell. Back to Prapavessis, center blue line. Far circle, Orval. Back up top, Prapavessis. Near side, one-timer, Bell looking for a deflection in front. Liljegren was there. We didn't get a piece of it. Played back to the point. Touch pass, far point. Here's Prapavessis again. He'll carry it center blue line. Near side, Bell. A one-timer blocked by the shin pad of the defenseman Levesque, and it's moved out to center. Shoveled far side by Prapavessis. Intercepted and shot deep by the Tommies. 1:36 left to go in the period. 48 seconds on the RPI power play. Pretty good puck movement there. Moving it around the top of the zone, but anything that was steered towards the net was blocked. Here come the Engineers into the zone now. Fulton far side, throws it off the boards to himself. He'll carry it around behind the net for Babella. Back to the point. That pass is broken up. It wasn't a good one. He threw it right into the skates of Campbell. And now here they come short-handed. A shot over the top. May have caught a piece of the shoulder of Kasdorf. RPI can break the other way now. It's a potential 4-on-1. Here they come into the zone. Is Bourbonnais, top of the circle, pulls it back. Cross-ice feed was behind Babella. Babella has it far side, hash marks. He gets knocked down. Fans want a call, not going to get it down low. Fulton holding, saucer pass, near side Wilson, back up top. One-timer Babella, and he smashed it wide. 48 seconds to go in the period. Out of the box comes the man. He shoots, and the glove save is made by Kasdorf. That was Sanvito. Just out of the box, kind of hung around at center ice and got the outlet pass, and he went in on a breakaway. But Kasdorf was able to make the glove save. Tied up behind the RPI goal. They dig for it there. And this period may end here. No, I guess we had 20 seconds left. It wasn't quite gonna end there, but they sure were battling for it behind the cage. We'll have a stoppage here with 21.4 left.
Another calm move there by Kasdorf as San Vito took the puck pretty much out of the box. That's something that you're in danger of when you're defending in that direction of the ice surface, given where the penalty benches are. But he looked pretty calm and collected, and then off the rebound, Bradley was able to tie up San Vito enough to keep the puck out of harm's way.
Puck in the near corner, pinching up the boards. And it's kept in. A high drive that time by Latina. 4 seconds. 3-2. Shot from center ice by Schrader, easily kicked away by Teichman. That'll do it for the second period. No goals in the frame. Engineers will take their 1-0 lead and 18-12 edge in shots into the third, make it 19-12.
One thing we've seen on these two power play opportunities the Engineers had in the second period is some play by Prapavesis and Bell on the top power play unit. It's almost like a co-quarterback type deal where you've got two defensemen who have shown the capacity, especially with Prapavesis, to be offensive-minded defensemen. When you got two guys back there that can decide exactly what they want to do is in terms of distribution or shooting the puck, you can have both of those guys almost like take control of that half of the attacking zone. And we kind of saw that especially on the second power play opportunity for the Engineers, where Prapavesis was basically controlling everything to the far side of the St. Thomas zone. Bell pretty much everything on the near side of the zone. Bell took a couple of decent shots. Prapavesis was making some good distributions. No goal resulting of it, but that's the kind of play you want to see if you're an Engineer fan on the power play. We saw several seasons back that RPI lacked a decent power play quarterback on the blue line to such an extent that Seth Appert was willing to try throwing 5 forwards out there on the power play, and that sometimes led to disaster, as if a puck is blocked high in the zone, it can really turn into a breakaway pretty quickly, and if you don't have any defensemen back there to defend against it, it can be really disastrous. In fact, I remember a couple of years ago, RPI gave up a goal when they had a 2-man advantage against Quinnipiac precisely because that happened and turned into a quick breakaway for the Bobcats. So when you've got guys back there that are not only defensive-minded but can distribute the puck well, like Mike Prapavesis and Bradley Bell, if they can make that work this season, that should certainly pay off in spades when it comes to RPI's power play, which, as mentioned, needs to improve over last year. We will take a breather, and we'll be back with the second intermission shortly. Your score after 2 periods of play here at Houston Fieldhouse is RPI 1 and St. Thomas nothing. You're listening to live coverage of Engineers hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy.
Mom, Dad, I'm in 8th grade now. That means those years of peer pressure are way behind me. From here on out, it's all about good grades and living up to your totally realistic expectations. Alcohol is probably the last thing on my mind. Like you said, I'm too young to drink. When I'm with my friends, all we talk about are current events and boy bands. We're definitely not curious about what alcohol tastes like, or why the older kids drink. And do I notice when you have a drink at dinner? Of course not. Just like I haven't noticed where you keep the alcohol. Oh, and if the opportunity arises to talk to me about drinking, you should definitely continue to avoid it. And if you do bring it up, just remind me that I'm too young. That'll probably do the trick.
Real kids are curious about alcohol. 40% try it by the 8th grade. Start a real conversation at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. Talk early, talk often, get others involved. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Don't be stupid with your skin. It's the only skin you're in. Know what's good and bad to do. Find the right and wrong for you. It's time you learn what it's about. 'Cause indoor tanning is out. UV lamps from a tanning bed, they can turn your skin beet red. Wrinkles come from the UV light, and age spots make you a frightful sight. With UV light, it gets worse. Skin cancer is a wicked curse. Don't be the one that's tanning red. Use your brain, use your head. It's time you learn what it's about. 'Cause indoor tanning is out. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
And we welcome you back inside the Houston Fieldhouse. It is the second intermission between RPI and St. Thomas, and your score after two periods is RPI 1 and St. Thomas nothing. So we are here the first weekend in October, the traditional start of the men's hockey season. Most teams that are in action this weekend are playing in exhibition games. There is one game that will actually count in the record books going on as we speak. It is between Colgate and Mercyhurst in a non-conference matchup, and the Raiders have a 4-1 lead over the Lakers late in the second period of that one. But for the most part, a blank slate, and really not much to go on other than what the so-called experts they're saying about who the best teams in the conference are, who the teams to beat are, who the best players are. You divine a lot of that from how last season went, for sure. Who's coming back, who's gone.
Yeah, it's a lot of guessing, and really don't know a lot about how guys will fare in the college game. I won't say it's a crapshoot, but there's a lot of a lot of variables that go into how kids adjust to not only on the ice stuff, off the ice. Some guys have played in their hometowns their entire lives. They're traveling all the way across the country to another country sometimes to play in a different place. Sometimes that's good for players to get away from that. Sometimes they're homesick, what have you. These are still, they're not 18, sometimes not 17, 18, 19-year-olds, but at least, like I said, there's a lot of times it's the first time they've been away from home.
And that makes it difficult to gauge teams too, especially when you're not sure exactly what you're going to get from freshmen. Most of the time, I would say. I mean, sometimes you get a guy like Jack Eichel coming out of junior.
There are some sure things, and
who everyone knew he was going to be one of the best players in the country, hands down, and won the Hobie Baker going away as a freshman last year. So, and then you have situations like you had with St. Lawrence last year, where everyone was wondering, how are they going to keep the puck out of the net, and where are they going to get their scoring from? And well, the answer to the first one was Kyle Hayton, a freshman goaltender that there was very little expectation on, and he basically took a team that in the polls had been predicted to finish 11th out of 12 teams in the ECAC, and they finished in second place in the final accounting of the table. So, with that in mind, the ECAC preseason polls, as put down by the 12 coaches of the league, and another poll by the media watchers in the league. And in the interest of full disclosure, I do have a vote in the media poll. So we'll go to the coaches' poll first, since they are pretty much the ones with their hands on the pulse. They know how their team looks. They know what they've seen from other teams and what to expect out of other teams. In a lot of cases, they've also seen a lot of the freshmen play because they've seen them out on the recruiting trail. According to the coaches, Harvard is the team to beat this season. 9 of the 12 coaches picked Harvard as the top team in the ECAC. They have Jimmy Vesey coming back, the only returning player from the Hobie hat trick last year. Easily one of the best players, not just in the ECAC, but in the entire country. Harvard, the team to beat according to the coaches. St. Lawrence, second with 1 first place vote. Yale was third with 1 first place vote. Quinnipiac, who were the regular season champions last year, they don't lose an awful lot this year, but the coaches only think them 4th best this season. Colgate rounding out the top 5, which most observers have said those are your top 5 teams in the ECAC. Those are the ones with the most potential, according to those who know. Colgate got the last first place vote, 5th in the coaches' poll. The rest of the poll reads like this: Union in 6th, Cornell, Clarkson, Dartmouth, RPI clocks in at 10th according to the coaches, Brown 11th, and Princeton 12th with 11 points, which means that all 11 coaches that ranked the Tigers ranked them dead last in the ECAC. They're coming off a terrible season in which they finished last. According to the preseason media poll, it is actually the Yale Bulldogs who are the team to beat. They were the top-ranked team in the media poll. They were also my first choice. They received 10 first-place votes out of a total of 30 voters. Quinnipiac was second in the media poll. They also had 10 first-place votes. Harvard, with 9 first-place votes, was third. St. Lawrence, 4th, with 1 first-place vote. And Colgate, 5th, rounding out the rest of the league. Union, Dartmouth, Clarkson, Cornell, RPI again in 10th place in the media poll, and then Brown and Princeton on the back end. So from what we can divine from the polls, not an awful lot of expectation on the Engineers this season. Both polls picking them to finish 10th, but as pretty much anyone who's been watching the ECAC for really any amount of time knows, that middle of the league is where it can be really kind of murky. You have situations where teams are, finishing 2 points behind a team that finished in 5th, and they end up still having to go on the road in the first round of the playoffs. It can come down to basically a shot or two either way during the last weekend of the season, and the teams are separated by almost nothing. To me, that 10th place for the Engineers kind of represents somewhat of a floor more than an actual expectation. Personally, I had the Engineers finishing about 6th, but there's so much that this team could potentially achieve should they get the right amount of scoring, and of course Jason Kasdorf has shown the ability to kind of take his team on his back. A solid argument can be made that as a freshman, he really was the most key element of an RPI team that ended up finishing 2nd place in the ECAC. If he can get himself back to that level, then the Engineers might be able to do far better than what they've been selected to, which is 10th in both the media and the coaches' poll.
Yeah, you see it in just about every level of hockey. A goaltender, especially a hot one, can carry you through stretches where maybe you're not playing your best hockey. So RPI hoping for a couple of those streaks, that we were going to call them, stretches of play where maybe they're not playing at their best, and maybe some times where their offense will carry the play and Kasdorf won't have to do as much. But they're definitely putting a lot on their senior netminder's shoulders expectation-wise for this year. If
they can't get the scoring and if they don't get what they need from Kasdorf, 10th is very realistic, but we'll see if they can do better than that this coming season. Take a very quick break and we'll be back with the 3rd period from Houston Fieldhouse. Your score after 2 periods is RPI 1 and St. Thomas nothing. You're listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey at 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
You seem nice, but
the Houston Fieldhouse here on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. We get set to bring you the third period of action between the RPI Engineers and the St. Thomas Tommies here in men's hockey exhibition play. The score after 2 periods of play is RPI 1 and St. Thomas nothing. My name is Tom Reel. I'm joined by Perry Lascaris, and you listen to all of this on your home for Engineers Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Before we get started with the third period, I'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and we'll get WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org.
Attendance tonight, 2,629. Not bad for an exhibition game here, but it is alumni, or homecoming, I can't say it, reunion and homecoming weekend, so plenty of folks back, and we're happy they're here. And if you're not at the rink, we're happy you're listening to us here, 91.5 FM, WRPI, as the puck bounces out in front of a new goaltender. It is Cam Hackett in the game for RPI, a recruit brought in this year to back up Jason Kasdorf, and pretty big, 6'1", 210 from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Played for the Lincoln Stars last year. Didn't have great numbers with the Stars, but the Stars didn't have very much in front of him either, so it was it was pretty, I'd say, misleading. He's looks like he's going to be a stand-up guy, and we'll see what we can get out of him here in the third period.
So Kasdorf's day is done for all intents and purposes. He stopped all 12 shots he faced. Drew Melanson into the offensive zone near side. Here they come. It's Campbell. Potential 2-on-2 into the zone. Feeding it in front. Shot stopped by Hackett on the near post. Big-time save right off the bat. They're testing him as that one's flung all the way back to the point. Here's Moore. Shot blocked by the man in front of him. That was Orval. No, another shot stopped on the left pad by Hackett. Orval had his pocket pick there and tried to do a little bit too much. That's off the skate of Prapavesas. RPI looking a little bit haphazard to start this third period, and they've been bailed out once by the freshman goalie Hackett. If you're wondering, no relation to the professional goaltender Hackett family. There's a couple of them. I believe one of them is maybe not still in the Sabres organization. He was also used to be in the Wild organization. Jeff Hackett, former pro goalie. But not as far as we know related to Cam. Engineers have it in their own zone. Bourbonnais up ahead. Good connection to Schrader. On to Babella. They're offside. Shot came right at the whistle. Don't think the Tommies are happy about it, but it was a little bit of a late whistle. Babella wasn't by no means trying to do anything illegal there.
Well, this is a fast-developing play, and really Schrader was just a step over that line when he passed it. They were moving quickly, trying to work in tandem, and that shot was definitely thought of well before it was taken, so no harm intended there, I'm sure, by the two Engineer seniors.
Puck shot in, it'll roll around to the far corner. DeVito in the corner. Jimmy DeVito digging for it there. He finds Gillespie. Gillespie stick handles through a defender, plays it back to the point. Sharp pass, Hampton a drive. That one hit Wood and kept in the zone. Little juggling act by Hampton. Walking in, a shot, looking for the top right corner. That would have been a spectacular goal, but it was way wide and back out to center. Gillespie now back for his defensive teammate. Hampton takes a hit. The Engineers keep the puck. Reno now finds Hampton, who's back to his normal spot, breaking out of the zone near side. Tipped into the zone by Gillespie, chased by DeVito. He runs into McDonald. Puck trickling to the far corner of the St. Thomas zone. Chowderly ahead, avoids a hit from Clary. And now McDonald spun to the ice. He lost an edge and went down. Puck scooped high in the air. Bradley Bell tries to glove it down to himself. Avoids a hit from Sanvito. And Clary plays it back near side. Fulton in the near circle of his own zone stops there and turns back up ice. Travis Fulton with speed into the zone now. Centering pass. Liljegren fed in front, trying to find his man. He just couldn't get his stick down. That was Bell. No, another shot turned away by Teichman. Picked up behind the goal. Liljegren, lots of room to work behind the net. Centering pass, swatted away. Good stick. Side of the net. by Levesque. He shoots it all the way out of the zone, and it'll move all the way down. Will it be icing? The arm is up, and we get the call. 16:40 left in the third. Still 1-0 RPI on a first period goal by Milos Bubela.
We saw Alex Rodriguez go off after being slashed in the second period. You haven't seen him back out on the RPI bench. He would have been out on that last shift because his line mates Fulton and Cleary were out there, but they were out there with Victor Liljegren, so no Alex Rodriguez. Probably, I mean, it's an exhibition game, so I probably won't see him again, but hopefully he's going to be coming out of that just okay.
Drive from the center blue line by Wilson was sticked away by the paddle of Teichmann. Bourbonnais into the zone. Offside was Schrader never got the puck, and so we play on. Turned back around by the Tommies, whipped into the zone by Campagna. Prapavesis near side of his own zone. Bourbonnais tried to play it back. A little bit indecisiveness. Now a play down low. Shot Campagna. He scores. He went upstairs. It's 1-1. And Campagna will move into the corner. Not much of a celebration for him, but it's a tie game 1-1.
Yeah, Campagna basically just came away with that puck pretty down low. And Hackett was caught down. Really not much he was going to be able to do from there. He had a good chunk of the net to shoot at, and he found that corner. The Dublin, Ohio native makes it a 1-1 game with 16:11 left in the third period.
So we are all tied up. The Engineers are going to need another goal if they want to win this one. RPI in its last 10 years, 6-1-1 in exhibition games. They didn't play 2 a couple years ago. There's a shot from the point by Wood. That skips up high and wide. Reno down low, around for DeVito. DeVito spinning around in the corner. Plays it back behind. Reno has a man in front. Gillespie, one-timer, didn't get it cleanly. Loose to the near half boards. Now down low for Gillespie again. Kicks it to himself. Trying to step through the check of Moore. Another hit. Help towards the point. Hampton pinching in. All the way free. Woods now taking the spot at the point that Hampton had vacated. Keeps it in the zone for the time being. It'll be lobbed out to center ice. Hampton chops it forward. Played across for Liljegren. And he'll spin around in the neutral zone. Victor Liljegren. Thrown near side for Clary just off the bench. Drop it back for Wood. Pulls it back. Tried to feed it back in front for Clary. He was interfered with. There's going to be a penalty coming up here. Good play by the Engineers. Good passing. Lonnie Clary tried to get to the net and was impeded upon, and he'll draw the penalty here.
And it's Jordan Moore heading off for the Tommies. A good play there by Clary to have himself in a position where he's going to be dangerous moving to the puck, and Moore really didn't have much of a choice but to impede him. Did it just enough to get the call, so the Engineers back to the power play. They're 0 for 2 so far this evening, but they've put together some good looks so far.
Orval, far side circle, waits with it. Down low. Melanson back to Orval. Tried to play it back to the point. It's swatted there and out to center by the Tommies. Prapavesis back to his own zone to get it. Bell, near side Melanson. Moving into the zone, trying to step around Donnelly. He gets stopped up. The puck goes in and now out. Cleared down by St. Thomas. San Vito. Picked up behind the goal. It's Bradley Bell. Engineers will start their breakout with under minute 25 to go on the man advantage. RPI's power play so far 0 for 2. Bell carried it all the way to the far boards where he stops. A couple of the Tommies peel off. Played it up ahead. Not held onto by Orval, and the Engineers forward line so will make a change here on the power play. Hackett stops it behind the net. Hackett has given up the goal to tie this game. It certainly wasn't his fault. RPI made a meal of a play in front of their own goal. And here comes Fulton into the zone. Near side circle off the backboards. All the way around for Babella. That pass deflected in the air, but the Engineers keep it. Here's Babella behind the net. Centering pass. That off the end of a stick. Picked up Bourbonnais. Near side Wilson. Wilson into the circle. Walking in. Fed all the way across. A shot. Riley Bourbonnais goes up top on a cross-ice feed. It doesn't get much better than that.
He just took that pass. Just kind of lofted it on his stick and launched it into the net. That was Travis Fulton actually on that far side, yeah. And he really earned that one too. He's been Throughout his whole career here at RPI, Travis Fulton has been a real spark plug for this team. He's had a hard time staying healthy, but when he's out there for RPI, he might not be the most physically gifted guy or even the most talented guy out there, but he provides a bit of an offensive spark. And right there, Fulton just kind of took that pass, wound it right up, and then whipped it.
Right under the crossbar. You have to accept my apology. I thought it was Bourbonnais with the shot, but it was Fulton with the tally. It was a great pass by Wilson, though. So often that pass isn't hard enough or accurate enough. That was right on the tape, and it was snapped right across the ice onto the stick of Fulton, and he put it home. I guess it's preseason for everybody, too.
Preseason for us, too.
I don't like to miss those goal calls, but yeah, that was definitely my fault. Here's Gillespie firing it in. Stop there by Teichmann. 2-1 RPI leading, 12:47 left in the third period. On a goal by Travis Fulton. San Vito into the zone. Tight angle shot, easy save for Hackett. The rebound did pop free, but it's cleared out to center. Back to their own zone to pick it up, Childry. Up the boards, worked in deep by Campagna. He has had the tying goal, the only goal of the game. That one's fed in front of the net by Bourbonnais. What's going on? And now it's played behind for Babella. Bourbonnais, I believe, was the culprit on the lone goal, or one of the Engineers that coughed the puck up in front of Hackett. Nearly did it again. Here is Bourbonnais in front. Backhander Schrader, save made by Teichmann. It's loose to the side of the cage still, kicking at it Bourbonnais. Now it's under some bodies, and Babella getting into it with Childry. They'll need to be separated.
Well, he's scoring on RPI's second goal of the game. A power play tally at 6:17 of the third period. Travis Fulton with the assists going to Jared Wilson and Riley Bourbonnais. Gives RPI a 2-1 lead. The goal by St. Thomas came at 3:49, an even strength goal, unassisted by J.C. Campagna.
So we have a face-off coming, I believe, inside the St. Thomas zone. 12:02 to play.
By the way, you're not crazy. Now that they've switched back to the other side of the ice, Teichmann's left, we'll say the right side of his mask is predominantly green.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the left side of his mask is predominantly gold. Or yellow, or whatever that is.
Yeah,
so
it's shinier. Okay, so it's
simply the matter of being on the different sides of the ice and what you saw from his profile. So while you may be crazy, you weren't crazy in that.
Not in this sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There. Okay, I can see it now. Face off to his right. The thrown in front by Clary. A couple sticks are tied up, including Liljegren's, who couldn't get a shot off. Played behind the net by Cameron. Out come the Tommies. Campbell, center ice, swatted away. Here comes Fulton the other way. Fulton into the zone, top of the circle. Rips a shot, he wants more. That shot was blocked, put on frame, and Teichmann gets the whistle. Liljegren swatted at a loose puck. The whistle went. The Tommies are upset about it, but that puck was still loose, and they should be happy the whistle went and not upset at the engineer who went after the puck.
Absolutely, because when that whistle blew, the puck was not only loose, it was heading in the direction of Victor Liljegren's stick. And Travis Fulton was coming around the back of the net to try and get a poke at it too. So a lucky break really there for the Tommies. That was a dangerous opportunity. The Engineers almost going up another one. And that's just another opportunity right there for Travis Fulton. He set the whole thing up with a nice shot, found the goaltender, but sometimes you just take your shots and see what happens, and that was a loose puck.
Deflected in on Hackett. That was a spinning deflection. Could have gone anywhere. Kind of bounced right in front of him. You don't like those if you're a goaltender, but he was able to glove it and hold on before the cavalry came. We'll have a stoppage in play with 11:29 left. Third period. RPI on top 2-1 now thanks to Travis Fulton's goal. A couple of seniors scoring here in the exhibition game.
And that's what Seth Appert's always liked to see out of his teams. He likes that senior leadership. He likes the seniors to lead the way. Really just can't say enough about Travis Fulton, especially here in the third period. He's been that spark plug that he's always been for the Engineers.
Face off one back. Tommy's get a shot through traffic, goes way wide on the try by Levesque. All the way out to center with speed comes Gillespie into the zone. His shot sticked away into the netting. We'll have a stoppage in play. Fulton, in his career, just the 2 goals in 48 games. He's been, that kind of player. Does have 11 assists as well, but really a hustle guy that when he's in there, he provides that spark energy-wise.
I really should stop calling him Spark Plug because I seem to say it all the time. but it's very, very appropriate because he provides a little bit of it. He provides just that energy starting boost that sometimes this team has required. And really, I mean, his biggest challenge this year is going to be to stay healthy and stay in the lineup.
Picked off center ice by Moore. He navigates around Orval, dumps it into the near corner over the head of the goaltender Hackett. Melanson gave it away, stuffed in front. That was Latina. And it's Pride free to Moore. His shot from the point is blocked. Melanson trying to jump on it. If he can get there first, he might be able to skate around. Fed in front, Liljegren walking in on the break. Shot save on the pad. Rebound covered up by Teichman.
Well, that was just a tremendous play by Drew Melanson. I mean, he would have had an opportunity to basically go in one-on-one if he had gotten that clean. Both he and the defender overskated the puck, but instead of giving up on the play, Melanson just went over there, grabbed it, whipped around, and found Liljegren for a breakaway.
That was a great play. They're going to get a penalty on Sawyer Haney, a slashing call. It was the trailing player. Melanson was trying to get to the net for the rebound, and Haney just wrapped him up and whacked him on the arm. And so RPI is going to get a power play out of this as well.
It's the type of play that even though they didn't get the score out of it, some good offensive-minded activity by both Liljegren and Melanson.
And Tom, I do want to point out in the play that while Melanson was the trailing man, he still went hard to the net. It was a breakaway for Liljegren, but you cannot assume anything, and that's exactly what Melanson did. And in doing so, he drew the penalty as Haney was a little bit lazy in trying to get back. He saw Melanson in front of him and just whacked him.
It looks like they're going to get Liljegren.
Well, maybe that too.
And more for extracurriculars afterwards, but it's not going to change the fact that RPI is going back on the power play. They're 1 for 3 so far tonight, and RPI's got that same line right back out there that scored on the last power play. They've got Bourbonnais with Bubella and Fulton, who was the goal scorer on that last power play.
Shot from the point, right on by Bradley. It's covered up by Teichman.
So roughing the calls against Moore and Liljegren.
Yep.
And a slashing call against Henny. Has RPI on the power play here with 10:38 left.
Henny in the box, the one that creates the penalty. The two matching penalties. We play with 10:24 to go. RPI can create a little bit of breathing room here if they can get a goal in this power play. Played around far side. Fulton gloves it down, gets slammed into the boards, and they'll call him for carrying the puck. There's not much you can do about it. He got smushed up against the boards with a puck in his hand.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to think, I should probably drop this puck now while I'm getting shoved into the glass. But
that's kind of bizarre. He was up in the air trying to glove it down, and he got hit basically while he was in midair, and still managed to keep his feet about him, which is pretty.
Right. He came down and then dropped the puck.
Pretty good. Yeah, I thought that was actually fairly
graceful.
Fairly well done. Yeah.
Puck at center ice after the grasping of the puck on Fulton. Moved the faceoff there. Minute 22 on the RPI power play. Bell into the zone. Stick handling. Top of the blue line, throws it cross ice. An ill-advised pass is nearly picked off. Childry is taken down, but he stays on the puck and fires it wide. The penalties that come up here on RPI, it'll negate the final minute 6 of the power play they had, as they're going to get Prapavesis. Really,
it's the only thing he could do.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault, but he had to come back and help out on Childry. If he knew he was a seventh defenseman, he might have played a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, he took the man down. Babella can't make that cross-ice pass. Is going to be picked off all the way.
Given how the play was developing, a good penalty. That's a heads-up penalty for Mike Prapavesis to take there. So it will be 4-on-4 for the next minute 6.
Shot right off the draw is held on by Hackett. Andrew Frisch right off the faceoff. That's a quick shot, and he got it away, but it was right into the breadbasket it was held on to. So Hackett getting this third period, and he's put it to good use. He's been tested a number of times here. He's made 5 saves on 6 shots thus far. Engineers shoot it down. They're 4 on 4 for another 50 seconds. RPI created some nice 4 on 4 scoring chances. Here's Babella all by himself in the zone, makes a move, walking in, a shot that's blocked up into the netting. Babella has looked dangerous in the open ice, as he has through much of his career. He seems to show up for periods of time and then seemingly disappear at other times. And if he's able to kind of be a little bit more consistent, he'll put up better numbers, obviously.
That's pretty much always been the key. And last year he really struggled to get consistency, but he was also struggling early in the season with injuries. And especially in college, where you're only playing twice in a week, sometimes it's hard to get right back into the flow of things when you get hurt.
Out to center ice with the puck. It's trickling into RPI territory. Wilson has it in the corner. Played it behind for Reno. Parker Reno back to Wilson. And it's carried out to center ice. Orval into the offensive zone. He's pinched off by Levesque. He does feed it across. A little bit of room to work for Reno over there. Reno down low. All the way behind the goal. Still Reno in front. A shot. And a save is made. Bouncing puck in the slot. Picked up there. And it's Wilson turning back towards the point. Penalty's about to expire. RPI is about to go on the kill, and they are now killing a penalty for another 53 seconds. 8:39 to go in the third period. 2-1 RPI leading over at St. Thomas University here in exhibition hockey action from the Houston Fieldhouse. Here comes Campagna into the zone. Makes a move all the way in, all the way around the goal to the far side. Drops it off for Latina in the near corner. Anthony Latina back to the point. Fake a shot. Throwing it far side. Good cross-ice pass. That was McDonald who had the initial fake from the near point. They move it down low. Chopped at by Campbell. He's pushed into the wall by Hampton. 20 seconds to go on the Prapoves's penalty. Trying to clear it out near side. Down to his stomach there was DeVito. Couldn't clear it out in the end. But the second effort, you get some help there from Wood to get it out. Diodati back to his own zone. Waits for his teammates to change, and that will do it for the power play. The Engineers kill it off. As we're back to 5-a-side with 7:43 left, we have a whistle and a stoppage in play.
Mentioned earlier the freshmen who are not in the lineup. Also 3 upperclassmen not dressed here tonight. Senior Mark Miller not playing tonight. Sophomore Lou Nanny, who struggled with injuries last season as well, not playing tonight, and senior goaltender Sam Goodman is not dressed.
RPI's most recent goal, the goal by Fulton, was a power play goal. So they're at 1 for 4 on the man advantage. 0 for 4 now are the Tommies as that shot from center ice comes in on goal. It's held on to, covered up by Tyson Teichman.
Really like what I'm seeing from some of these combinations that Seth Appert's put together for this exhibition matchup. We haven't seen anything come to fruition with the top line, but Melanson and Liljegren have shown some really good chemistry, and we've already seen some nifty play from Jesper Orval.
Into the RPI zone goes the puck. Wilson trying to help it into the corner. Pinched off by Milson. Not Wilson, and now the Engineers break out to center. Bourbonnais has a man cutting to the net. It's Schrader. Bourbonnais all the way down low. He gets roughed up. Puck goes loose to the corner. Hanny off the boards to center. It'll go all the way down. Should be icing on St. Thomas, and it is. 7:03 on the clock. Still a 2-1 RPI lead.
And the Engineers doing what they need to do with puck possession in this game. And the only blemish on the board so far, really just a bad defensive turnover in their zone, which is another thing they needed to clean up on from last year. A lot of times they'd find themselves getting behind the 8 ball because they'd make poor decisions in their own end. That one not really so much of just a poor decision as much as just a little bit of sloppy play, but something for RPI fans to be on the lookout for this year is how well the Engineers comport themselves in their own end with the puck.
Chris Bradley had the puck at the blue line. His shot was blocked out to center. He'll have to backtrack there. Plays it across for Bradley Bell. Bell in his own end. Here is Fulton. Has RPI's go-ahead goal. Travis Fulton into the zone. Drops it back for Wood. Stick save made. Puck behind the net. Picked up Fulton. He'll skate it to the far side of the ice. To the hash marks, down to the circle. Back to the near point. It's back out to center. Not the best angle on the pass. Now it's fired in from center by Bradley off the blocker of Teichman. Shot all the way down by the Tommies. Will it be icing again? Maybe.
Yes, no. There's a whistle. It was well after they probably should have whistled it if it was icing.
Yeah, our linesman on the near side, Anthony Kenny, had his arm up. Maybe it was puck played with a high stick.
That's what I think he's calling. The face-off's coming up in the RPI end, so I'm going to presume it was touched by an RPI high stick at some point.
An engineer knocked it out of the air on its way down the ice, I guess is the call. So face-off in the RPI zone. Parker Reno in the near corner of his own end. Shoots it around to the far side. Trying to clear it out, kept in. Shot wide of goal. Hackett waiting at the near post, and it trickles in. We're tied. Shot snuck by the near post on the far side. Jason Cameron makes it 2-2 with 6:09 to go.
Well, that's just a little bit unlucky, and Hackett was still kind of looking there, trying to figure out how the puck made it through, because he had that post looked like it was sealed up pretty tight. Somehow managed to find a seam and end up in the back of the net. Just a kind of a backhand from behind the net was just basically just poked.
Yeah, there had to be a seam there somewhere, I guess.
I'm looking at the overhead, and I still can't see where the seam was. He had his back against the post. I mean, it's awful difficult to find a way in there, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't magic, so instead it's 2-2.
Well, we've seen it where the net has been up a little bit for pucks along the ice. We've seen pucks go in from behind the net.
There was a little bit of a jostle. I will say that much.
But must have been just a little hole there. 2-2 now. Fed back to the point. Here's Wilson. Far side pass broken up. The Engineers keep it. And now Wood tried to throw it all the way across. That one's intercepted. Anthony Latina has it, moves it out to center. Stolen away by the Engineers. Wood throwing it near side for DeVito, who whacks his man. Puck comes back to the RPI zone. Prapavesis, D-to-D for Wilson. Under 5.5 to play, now a 2-2 game. Shot coming, glove save by Teichman, and he holds on.
The goal for St. Thomas scored by Jason Cameron, an even strength goal at 13:51 of the third period, makes it 2-2. I didn't catch the assists, but once they're put up on the board, we'll bring those to you.
Bradley had it tied up. Now Schrader keeps it in at the line nicely far side. He'll work it deep. Bourbonnais gets bumped off the puck by Diodati. Now Childry into the RPI zone, offside, and a shot just after the whistle by Rankin Campbell stirs up the RPI defenders.
It's a good play there by Chris Bradley to just glove down that lazy pass into the zone. Kind of created that offsides just by pushing the puck back to the blue line. Ended up going out while Campbell was still coming into the zone.
Engineers are 6-1-1 in exhibition play over the last 10 years. Right now they are square 2-2 with the University of St. Thomas. Rolling puck into RPI territory. Back to get it Bell off the wall. Schrader up on further for Bubella. Has a man in front. It's Bourbonnais. Bubella, shot, save, rebound. Played behind the net. Is underneath the defender. That was Levesque. And so Bubella electing not to pass there. Had Bourbonnais. And now Schrader gets dumped behind the St. Thomas goal. Here comes Levesque up ahead. Still carrying it. Drops it back. A shot. Ramps up a stick and goes out of play. We'll have a stoppage here.
Yeah, smart play by Bubella to take a shot there on that 2-on-1. Sometimes you like to see the pass across, but the defender on that play pretty much covered it perfectly. When you're the defender, you want to try and take away that pass. Kind of sprawled out and took away that option from Bubella, so all he had left to do was go in on the netminder, who was squarely focused on him alone. Teichman was able to make that save.
Fulton trying to work his way up the far side. He's pinched off the play by Moore. Hampton now crossing center. Skates to the far side. He'll carry himself. Still Hampton into the zone behind the net. Hampton throws it in front into the crease. It's picked away as Hanny was there. Dangerous play created by Phil Hampton on almost nothing. And Liljegren in the slot. Arister. Rebound pops free again. And Teichman's rebound issues are rearing their head again. A shot in front. Save on the pad. He denied Fulton there. Would have been his second. Now back comes Sanvito into the RPI zone. Knocked free to the near corner by Hampton. Taken over by the Engineers. They'll skate it out to center ice. Victor Liljegren all by himself. Engineers, a couple of them changing behind him. Still Liljegren spinning and lost the puck in the corner. Diodati near side out to center ice all the way down. Will it have the legs for icing? Prapavestis skating, they wave it off. 3:20 to go. Shots are 38-20 Engineers. Now Wood has it. Up ahead, Gillespie into the offensive zone. Still Gillespie. Fed in front off the pad of Teichmann. Trying to move it up the far boards, they do. DeVito, good back check here. Steals the puck away, and now Wilson has it. Up the near wall, they'll try Gillespie again. Poked off his stick by Levesque. Glove down by Wilson. Jared Wilson moving it in front. Cross-ice pass, hit off a skate and goes free to the far corner. DeVito fed down low. Nice job to lift the stick there. Trying to move it in front is Wood. On his edges there, works it back for Prapavestis. Prapavestis far point, holding, firing off a leg. Picked up Wilson. He'll take a slapper way high and wide. It caroms all the way around to the far side of the zone. Out comes Milson, has a man breaking. And it's Latina into the zone. Latina a shot, he fired it wide. Comes free towards the far point, trying to keep it in. Milson does so for the time being, but the Engineers take over. Prapavestis with 2:22 to go in a 2-2 game. He'll cross center and slam it in off the near boards. It rattles all the way around to the far corner. Tommies have it in their own end. Childry up the near side boards, broken up at center ice by Bradley. Bradley spins back to his own zone with 2:07 to go. Bell back to his own end. Across for Chris Bradley. Saucer pass near side Babella. Babella faked a move. Maybe didn't try to do that, but he lost it in the end all the way down the ice. So this will be icing on St. Thomas. 1:53 left. We'll have a faceoff coming deep in Tommy's territory.
That 39 shots on goal for the Engineers is a little bit of a symptom of just noticing that Teichmann's giving up rebound after rebound. You got to shoot the puck to score anyway, so you might as well throw it in there and just see what happens. And here, especially late in the third period, the Engineers have been good at creating dangerous scoring opportunities just by throwing the puck on net and seeing where it bounces to. If you can get Teichmann out of his element by make that first save right away, get that puck to bounce to one of your guys, you're going to have an awful lot of open net to shoot at.
Timeout here taken by St. Thomas here after that icing call, trying to get their guys a little bit more time to rest up.
Some good play from the Engineers. Certainly some things that they have got to work on coming out of this exhibition matchup. It's hard to say exactly, looking at any exhibition game, taking anything major away from it. We've seen players explode in an exhibition setting who then go on to have fairly sedentary seasons. We've seen teams come in here and really push the Engineers around, and they end up coming out of it with a pretty decent season in the end. Just a reminder, you're listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Tom Reel, Perry Lascaris on the call for you here late in the third period. 1:53 left in regulations. RPI and St. Thomas tied at 2.
Face-off win for the Tommies in their own zone. It's Jordan Moore. He'll try the far side of the boards. He gets it out to center. Wrap back into the zone. The Engineers are onside, but it's moved right back out to center. Far side, Wilson shoots it in. It'll rattle around off the dasher to the near corner. Babella. Down low, Borbina in front. Schrader fanned on the shot, and it's cleared out. What a find. Zach Schrader all alone on the doorstep. But he pulled the shoot and never got the shot off.
He lifted his head right afterwards, too, because he wanted that one back.
Oh, boy.
All alone in front. If he could have whipped that one, it would have...
He didn't have to do that much. I think he tried to do too much.
That would have been a 70-30 type of shot, too. So, yeah, he wants that one back.
Schrader, 3 goals last year for him. And now a near giveaway at the blue line. Prapavestis, here they come. Campbell into the zone. Drop pass. Shot, pad, save, clearing effort. And it's spun back. Melanson off the glass to center. Tommies take over. Near side feed into the zone. Diodati all the way down low with it for Campbell. Try the far side. Nobody there. Orval has it. We're under a minute to go in the third in a 2-2 game. Exhibition action here from the Houston Fieldhouse as Wilson shoots it into the far corner. We may have overtime here if we don't find a winner. Up the far boards. Broken up that time by Gillespie. Or excuse me, make that Reno. Now Bradley. Scooping it in to Gillespie, will track it down. loses an edge and goes hard into the boards, gets back up is Gillespie, poked away from DeVito, pinching up the boards Reno, 24 seconds to go in regulation. Tied at 2, DeVito drops it back, one-timer Wood, and that one blocked by Milson. Move it out to center, San Vito. Engineers have it, maybe one more rush with 12 seconds to go. Tie up along the wall. Taken away, Gillespie with 7. Up ahead, Wood. Wood walking in, pulls it back, takes a shot, save on the glove. Rebound pops free. Wood crashing for the rebound, and he's nearly there in time, but it's covered up by Teichmann with 1.2 seconds to go.
Boy, and Kenny Gillespie's eyes lit up seeing that puck sitting there. He was crashing right along with Wood. Wasn't an awful lot of time left. They both went hard to the net. It's play until the whistle. And so with 1.2 seconds remaining, the Engineers going to pull Cam Hackett for a 6th skater. See if they can win the faceoff and take a quick shot.
Here we go. Face off to the left of Teichmann. Babella in to take the draw. And it is one straight back, turning Gillespie, tried to feed it in front. The horn went. That was a quick good at 1.2 seconds, in my opinion. Either way, that'll do it for regulation time. We played 60 minutes. We don't have a winner. We'll have 5 minutes of overtime coming up here. Shots 40-21 RPI. Engineers also leading faceoffs 35-31. RPI 1 for 4 on the power play, and the Tommies are 0 for 4.
Well, first night, a little bit of free hockey. That's a pretty good bargain, if I do say so myself. So we'll see RPI and St. Thomas going back at it here in the overtime period. A little bit of an extra opportunity to see how the Engineers are shaping up here. And it's not, it'll be a throwaway game once the game is over, but you know, they're going into an overtime. They've just played 60 minutes. It's a real game. They're playing it as though it was a real game for sure, knowing that whatever rust they expose here in the exhibition game, they can keep working on. But even in an exhibition game, that drive, I think, is still going to be there, and we could be in for a fun 5 minutes of hockey as both these teams try to pull out the victory here tonight.
So we have, the 5 extra minutes of hockey to be played here. Engineers, to their upcoming schedule, they take on the 14th ranked UMass Lowell Riverhawks on Friday. That's on the road. Then they're back at home on Sunday to take on the number 1 team in the country, Boston College, here at the Houston Fieldhouse at 2 o'clock. So
Boston College, who just lost today to New Brunswick. In New Brunswick, also, I should mention, a team that beat the Portland Pirates of the AHL last week. So it's, it just kind of underscores that you really can't take much away from these exhibition games. Boston College is, they're not even close to being the unanimous number 1, but they're a pretty good choice to be the top team in the country starting off this season. So it just kind of goes to show you really can't look at the result of an exhibition game and say, well, they're going to be good or they're going to be terrible. So take all of this with a grain of salt for sure.
Overtime ready, 5 minutes on the clock. There's too many Tommies out there. Childry has to go sit down. He will.
Well, at least Tommy Grant's not playing in this game.
Moving into the zone, the Engineers. Liljegren. Up ahead, turning with it is Orval into the zone. Top of the circle, pulls it back, rips a shot. That hit his shin pad into the far corner. Kept alive, far side, Liljegren. Stops in the circle, makes a move, takes a shot, and he fanned on it. Picked up by Levesque, feeding it head on the backhand. Bradley has it. Over to Bell. Bell ahead, off the stick of Jesper Orval, and in deep. Slammed out by Levesque. Broken up by Wilson. Kicks it to himself. He'll jump into the play offensively. Jared Wilson drops it back. Shot from a tight angle. Off the back of the net. Wilson thought it might have gone in. I don't know. Now a shove to the back of Melanson. Fans don't like it, but we play on. Spinning around Prapavessis in the far corner. We're a minute into overtime, 2-2. RPI and St. Thomas. Prapavessis all the way around to the near circle. This is what he does so well. Hard to get the puck off him. Orval behind the cage. Bank pass to himself. Centering pass Melanson. Shot! Save made up high by the goaltender Teichman. Now another centering pass. Nice play by the skates. Oh, Levesque gets pushed out by the goalie stick and moved out to center ice. Here comes Latina into the zone. He'll toe drag through his own legs, lost an edge and went down. On the far boards, it's Campbell. He overskates. Now Bourbonnais to center ice with it. Engineers changing behind him. Bourbonnais into the zone, near side corner, all the way around. Bourbonnais, far circle, still on it. Bourbonnais spins back to the middle of the ice, centering pass where Babella touched it towards the goal. Not much on it. Now a chance for a break, but the Engineers get back. Both Hampton and Reno. Schrader up ahead. Stops at the half boards. Played back to center ice. Reno takes a look around. He'll turn right back up and dump it in. 2 minutes now into overtime. 2:55 left here. Up the far boards. Easily gloved down by Bourbonnais. Played it on further for, looks like Fulton. And now here comes Campbell into the zone. Took a shot. Another one was blocked there. Didn't look like he's going to get much on it. His stick was lifted momentarily, but here come the Engineers the other way. Schrader, near side circle, shot save, rebound loose. Fulton trying to get there. Swatted out to the far side. Wood keeps it in the zone along the half boards. His stick gets stepped on. Played back to the point. Bradley a shot through traffic. Big rebound sits there. Knocked away. Picked up along the near wall by Schrader. Down low to Wood. Wood takes a hit. Picked up there by the Tommies, trying to clear it out. And the second effort won't do it. Now they'll get it out here. Milson ahead. Campbell gets it in deep. Bradley Bell back to pick it up for RPI with 2 minutes to go in overtime. Kenny Gillespie near side of his own zone. Played it forward for DeVito. Takes a shove in the back. Tommies take over. Gloved at center. If the Engineers touch it, it will be a hand pass. And they'll say they didn't. Now into the zone, a shot, Frischi, save, rebound loose to the far circle. Move it back to the point. Diodati, near side point, Levesque. Oh, iron skates there, kicked it right out to center. Levesque turns and fires it in before taking a hit from Bell. Far side corner, Sanvito. Childry, taken over by the Engineers. Bradley, near side for Bell. Now here's Gillespie to center. Kenny Gillespie fires it into the far corner. Minute 23 to go in overtime. Levesque off the near glass and out to center ice. Kicked at, knocked down by Prapavesis, but carried on by the Tommies into the zone. Drop pass, far circle, into the middle, a shot. And that one was blockered away or missed the net. I couldn't quite tell. Latina had the effort from the near circle. 1 minute to go now in overtime. Prapavesis off the boards. Here's Orval all by himself. Waits for some help, spins around, still Orval, walks it out in front, it's swatted away at the last second, and now a chance to break, a breakaway, open, it's Milson walking in, a shot, and a save by Hackett! He kept it out, he stayed right with him, not out of the woods yet, shot and another save by Hackett, rebound, they score! Milson gets the last laugh if he's stuck at home from the far circle, and it's Cam Hackett pretty much left out to dry at that end of the ice. He made a brilliant save on a breakaway. Had to make two more stops, and it was Bryce Milson with the game winner in OT, a 3-2 St. Thomas University victory here at the Houston Fieldhouse.
Well, you know, Perry, we gave a little bit of praise to Drew Melanson during the third period for going in after the puck, even though Liljegren was on a breakaway, because no matter what happens afterwards, if he doesn't score, you still got to be in there to pick up that puck. The inverse just happened for the Engineers on defense. It was a bad bounce into the neutral zone that the Tommies were able to pick up on and really take a really solid breakaway out of. They got a great save by Cam Hackett, who stuck with it all the way and just stuck his pad out at the perfect time to get that away. But then the trailing D never really showed up, even though there were four solid, dark jerseys down there in the RPI zone, still with control of the puck. Cam Hackett was basically doing a lot of that by himself. The two defenders in front of him, the two or three defenders in front of him, were mostly ineffective just because they were outnumbered. And when you have that kind of a matchup, they end up squirting the puck out to the free man. There was nothing that Cam Hackett could do on that third one, and the blame really falls on that D failing to follow up immediately on the breakaway. But then also you gotta get down there and get yourself set up after that's done. you can't be depending on your goaltender to keep all that stuff out. It's unreasonable.
Yeah, well, the Engineers learned a few things here this evening, as you expect they would, regardless of the outcome. They'll be in action next weekend, and RPI just a little bit of falling asleep at the wheel there at the end of the game, but that's why it's an exhibition, and they'll take what they've learned, obviously take the tape and go over some things that they need to work on for this weekend when they have a couple of tough matchups, no matter what the rankings say. You have a solid team in Lowell, who's been among one of the top 20 teams in the country for the last few years, and of course Boston College, that storied program. And it's always big when big programs like Michigan, who's coming later, and Boston College, when they come here to the Houston Fieldhouse, it doesn't happen all that often. And it's really big, and it's really exciting for the local, for the fans and for the students here at RPI, and they should be excited about a game like that in front of their home crowd.
It's going to be a fun season here at the Fieldhouse. I mean, you hear all this talk in college sports about the Power 5 conferences, the big football playing schools, who everyone knows who they are. They know the fight songs, they know the colors, they know what they look like. RPI has Boston College, the number one, not just a big school, but the number one team in the country coming into the Fieldhouse next weekend. Before the end of this month, Michigan's going to be here, and as a special kind of a treat in December, the new kids on the block, Arizona State, for 2 games. I mean, that's just cool. I'm sorry that Seth Appert and his crew have put together a pretty